Welcome to Chris. Derek, put a shirt on. Let's see who else is on here. Derek, Chris. Jefferson, welcome to. Check it out.
Hello.
Hello. All right, who else we got? Let's see, let's wait 2 more minutes and we'll kick this thing off here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hear you good.
Okay. Why did everybody turn off their video? Oh, okay. Chris and Derek. Well, Derek was shirtless, so that's the reason why for Derek. All right. Alrighty. Cool. So yeah, welcome to guys. I'll just kick this off while we're waiting and just say that we are live on YouTube as well. So I invited other people to kind of just sit and watch. But for you guys as well, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube. That's actually where the playbacks will be at from now on. So this way you guys will not have to message me nor wait on me to put out the playbacks. You can just go there and watch it back, okay? So obviously Gene and Angela will see this notification as well, and I'll post it this week, but realistically next week, you can just subscribe, and as soon as you subscribe, you'll be alerted every single week when these are posted, okay? So
I've been actually meaning to ask you about that. I couldn't find our channel. Like there's been a bunch of like other channels that kind of have the same names.
I literally just created it. So if you were searching anything before Friday, you wouldn't have found it.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry. I just made it all happen this weekend because it was a 3-day weekend, which by the way, I hope you guys all had a 3-day weekend for those who are in the United States. For those who are not, well, sorry. I still hope you had a great weekend. But we'll go ahead and get started. Somebody's logging on and logging off, Cherry. No, that is Jefferson. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get it started. Look at some of the setups for the week. There's actually a lot that are happening. EA actually may have already started to play out. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to that. I posted Cherry Bells in the actual group because one, it was correct, and two, it was the closest to playing out. So I hope you guys actually saw that in there. And yeah, let's go ahead and do some sharing. Okay, can everybody see my screen at this moment? It's a little bit crazy, but can you see it? Okay, so don't pay attention to some of the past data. I'm gonna update this as we go. What I wanna look at right now is EA, and then I'm gonna go from there. So let me move something off my screen for you guys. Hold on, there we go. Okay, so this is EA. This is a very, very long trend, as we can see. Don't pay attention to any of these zones down here. Now, I'll just go ahead and delete them real quick. But there's there's a long trend on this, and it's just been happening and playing out that you guys could kind of see the support and the resistance there, and then just like the trend. Finally, which is something that I've been waiting on, was waiting for it to break this trend. So it broke here, okay? It's now gone up to almost retest. I think it's within its range of 30 pips. Let's go up here and see. So yeah, about 20 pips to the trend. So this is probably going to bounce around for a little bit, right? So it may come down a little bit more and then bounce up. Once it gets into this range, realistically, I would love to see it. Let's do it here. Once I get into this range around about, I would love to see it try to fall, right? And maybe even here, right? And the reason why I have that obviously is because there's an OB here, but then there's also a trend here as well. So in this area, I would love to see it come up, push up against, okay? And then watch it fall this week. So set your alerts. It should somewhere be in this zone. You should already have this marked up. Excuse me, my bad. Let me put that there. You should already have this on your chart. If you don't, go ahead and take a screen grab of it and save that for yourselves. And this way you can come back to it and chart it up correctly. I'm just going through and deleting some things that aren't really necessary or pertaining to it. I do want to welcome Chris, because Chris is the newest member. Not necessarily he's been here before, but he's getting a brush up as of right now. So Chris, I will go over a few things that we discussed on session. I just want to cover some of the things that are happening in this moment. And ask you guys that are on session, not necessarily ask you guys, but just go ahead and tell you guys. This right here, we will not be playing, which I'm going to show you in just a second. View, insert arrows, arrow up. Yes, this is an OB. However, because it is a break and retest, realistically, this can and might get blown out. So I'm not going to actually chart this on my screen. Yes, it is an OB, but as we know, break and retest, the first OB has the most likely ability to getting itself blown out. So I'm not going to actually trade this as a buy, okay? So I'm just letting you guys know that. If you guys don't have that in your notebooks already, feel free to go ahead and write it down, jot it down. All right, I'm going to move on to the next pair. I'll go ahead and put this as a, hold on one second. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that for right now. All right, so yeah, I probably see it coming to around this area, this zone. Okay, all right, so that's EA. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to GJ, something I actually called out earlier in today. So this is officially GJ. Really simple, really easy. Let me know if you guys can actually see my screen though, because I do realize that it's kind of small.
I see it.
Okay, perfect. Try to zoom in just a little bit, but yeah. So there's a really easy trend on this, right? So we always go to price to find the trend. We go to the price, and then we just hit look to the next lowest low, right? So the next lowest low is right here, okay? See if there's a trend. What makes it a trend? 3 wicks. Okay, so it has a 3 wicks. Is there anything else that it's connecting to? Probably this area right here. So I can probably draw this up just a little bit more, okay? So this way now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wicks here that it's hitting versus just its 3. The more the merrier, the better, right? So the stronger it is, okay? So realistically, this might come into this area, right? This little golden area, which is also a buy zone for GJ, and we'll see this thing go up. Okay, so hopefully it comes down into the buy zone, so we'll set our alerts there, okay? And we'll see this at least, I feel like because this is a break and retest, right? See it at least 2 up here. Screen's going crazy. Okay. So I don't want to necessarily play this. I have this highlighted for a reason, right? Because this is the very first OB zone right after a break and retest. I don't want to necessarily highlight this zone as a sell zone because it can get blown out, right? And if news comes along, well, that's probably going to get blown out, like I said. So that's what we have as of right now. But this is the first 30 pip zone that I have here highlighted. And this is the buy zone. So if you're wondering why this is highlighted, no, it's not an OB, but it is a break and retest off of the first zone, right? So, okay, went up, retest it. Now it could go up and shoot up from off of this line, or it could come down a little bit more and then shoot up, which I'm hoping it comes down a little bit more and then shoots up, okay? So this is GJ. If you don't have a screenshot, feel free to screenshot it. I'm going to move on to, wait, hold on, let me say that again. If you don't have a screenshot, feel free to screenshot it. That is GJ at the moment. And I'm going to move on to GU. Okay. So this is GU. Okay. After this, we're going to go over some homework for you guys and then go over some of the rules as well, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because like I said last week, there were a lot of good people there was some good people who made some good trades, and then there were some mistakes made by still some good people. So we're going to actually take a look at that as well, see how we can avoid those, right? But yeah, so this is GU, as I was mentioning. So GU is interesting. This is just simply, we look at price, we see what's the next high is. Okay, the next high is here. Does it make a trend? No. Okay, where's the next high? It's right here. If I were to draw a line straight down, I would see, oh, there's some wicks here. Okay, cool. If I were to draw that straight up, oh, there's more wicks over here, and probably so on and so on, right? So there is a trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. So basically, I'm looking for this to come down. I'm looking for price to come down into this area. Okay, it looks like it's trying to. It also has some room on the RSI to come down a bit, right? But anywhere in this zone, realistically, because there's two buy OBs. So there's a buy OB here, and there's a buy OB here. So I might end up putting a scalp in this zone, seeing what it wants to do. If it wants to respect that, awesome. If I start seeing respect, I'm gonna go ahead and take that as a buy zone. If it starts shooting down past that zone, no worries, okay, stop in. It's gonna continue back up here, and then we'll look to take this back up, okay? Once again, I have this here, knowing that it is an OB, but it is a break and retest, so I'm not gonna necessarily take that, okay, as a sell. Is anybody confused as of right now? Everybody's following along and it makes sense for the most part?
Makes sense.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so, yes, sir, Derek, cool. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so let's go ahead and see that. So boom, boom, let's see. Okay, so that's a buy zone. So go ahead and take a picture of that. I'm gonna set up alerts real quick just to see, just to make sure I don't personally miss out. I do recommend for you guys to set up alerts too. So zone 1, what? Oh, okay, I put it in the wrong place. Zone 2, down below. What is already hitting? GU. Oh, I just placed that on accident. Okay, hold on one second. Let me move this down. How is this already hitting? I don't know. Okay, maybe I messed up somehow. All right, so long story short, it should be fine now. Hold on. No, what is hitting? Something else is hitting. So I can delete it. Is that my alert, or is somebody, is Cherry Bell, is that your alert?
Nope, I haven't said anything yet.
Oh, okay, just making sure, because I was like, I know your sound is on. Yeah, nothing says it's hitting. Okay, that's weird. All right, so back to this. Where am I at? Okay, so let's go and check out some of the homework. So EU, now we're gonna try to do this together, right? Because I don't have my resistance lines. I don't have some of the zones marked up currently as is. This one looks crazy as of right now. So let me go ahead and delete this real quick. And we're gonna take this from, let's do this. So we know I have to do EU, so I'll close this out. Let's go here. Oops, wrong button. EU. Okay. Okay. All right. So step one, Cherry Bell is what?
4 hour support and resistance.
Cool. So let's make sure we're on the 4 hour. Perfect. We grab our resistance tool. We come here and we start looking from top to the bottom, the resistance. Okay. So by starting at the top, now I personally look from left to right. The rule that I personally like to go by is if you see a wick that's just a line, that's like a brick wall bouncing and price is just bouncing off of that brick wall and it's invisible. You just need to fill it in. So if you see wicks happening, think of it as an invisible line that just needs to be filled in. So I personally go from left to right. So I see these bouncing, 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 and then I want to keep going, okay? So I filled in that line. I see these. This one isn't going to be perfect, but it's nice nonetheless. So I see these and I see bouncing off, bouncing off, bouncing off, almost bouncing off, bouncing off, bouncing off, bouncing off. And I just filled in that line. Let's keep going. Now I'm going to just fill these in as we go. You guys can get the point as we go along with it. Some of you guys already know this as well. So we see these bouncing off over here. These are all bouncing off. Some of them kind of went through, but yeah, bouncing off, bouncing off, bouncing off. Just keep going. Okay. Now, obviously, I am moving a lot faster than you might. Feel free to take your time on these. No reason to rush through it. Correct chart is best if it's correct. Okay. Where's James Dodge? Is he on session? He just liked one of my posts. Where's he at? Alrighty. So this is just happening left to right that I'm just looking around, right? So Chris, if this doesn't make any sense, let me know. If you have any more questions, feel free to message in there, but you kind of see me how I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm just watching.
Okay, perfect. All right. So all imaginary lines for the most part are filled in. There might be some missing, but it's all right for right now. And then we move on to the next step. What is the next step, Derek? Do you know? You better know. Oh, maybe Derek's went away.
You figure out your zones.
What'd you say?
Is it you figure out your buy and sell zones? Find your OBs?
There you go. Yep, find your OBs. You got it. Okay.
Cool.
So we always want to pay attention what's closest to price. I don't really want to, like for practice, yes, I can go all the way in the past and find a bunch of OBs, right? But what's more important is to figure out what's going on with price. So if price is over here, I don't want to see OBs like over here, over here, over here, right? Only because prices are way over here on May 23rd. So first I'm looking for, now this could be in either order, sell zones or buy zones. So right here I have an OB. Now, when I say long OBs, I don't want to necessarily, hold on one second, why is my thing showing? Okay. So I don't want to, I'm going to just show you guys some examples or just show you some examples in general, Chris, real quick. Let's find something. Okay, so this one, for instance, this is just for example purpose. And this one is for example purpose. Okay. Now, which one of these, that's probably not the best example. Hold on one second, let me find a better example. There could still be there. Dang it. It's not, I'm not gonna be able to find Ova's chart, a bad example. Let's just use this one, okay. Okay, so Chris, out of these two, which one has a longer wick? This would be the first one, this would be the second one.
The first one does.
Okay, now which one would be considered an OB? This would be the first one, this would be the second one.
If we didn't have, I would consider the first one, I guess.
You consider this one an OB over this one?
Oh, because we didn't really chart up there, so I wouldn't really consider that right now. But if we had put up resistance up there, I'd consider that the second one more of an OB because there's more of a bearish rally.
Okay, so the only reason why this one would be a OB and this one would not be is because this one has a long wick, this one has a short wick. We don't like long wicks, and the wick that we're talking about, oops. I won't be able to do that. Hold on one second. Here we go. Let me zoom in. So this one, it just has a long wick. So this wick right here is half the length of the actual candle. So think of like somebody handing you a candle, an actual candle, right? They just went to the store and bought you a new candle. Would you be satisfied with this as a present?
No.
But you would be satisfied with this as a present, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think of your OBs like that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Mm.
Okay, perfect. All righty, so let me go back here. So, so this going back to here. Uh-oh, somebody just said something in the chat. Let's see. I want the ones with no wicks though. Yes, that would be amazing. Okay, so those were for example purposes, just to give you an idea and to use that analogy. I'm gonna go here to price. I can see it's already trying to break through this zone that it's already in, or this sell zone. Okay, zone back out. Okay, so I'm just going through. Now, this is the closest to price, right? This is price over here. I'm just showing you why I did this. This has a long wick, right? So this is the prime example that I just gave you. If somebody handed you this as a present for your birthday and said, here's a candle, you wouldn't necessarily like that as a present, right? So I moved on to the next OB in this zone, or the next OB that I could find in this zone, right? And it looks like, there it is, the bearish before a bullish rise, okay? No wick at all, and it's in the zone. It's in the zone that we're looking for. Okay, so basically, what I mean by in the zone that we're looking for is one zone. If you go to this zone, there's no buy OBs. If I go to this zone, there's no buy OBs. If I go to this zone, this is not a buy OB, but this is, and then I would continue down. So right. So let me look for another sell. At the moment, I don't see another sell until I get way up here. Okay, so we say orange, yeah. Now Jefferson is colorblind, so you just know, Jefferson, that up is sells and the bottoms are buys.
Thank you, man.
All right, so for right now, because I know there's a break and retest on this, I'm not going to necessarily continue to look for buy zones. So I'm going to leave that as is, right? So how do we find our trend? Now, this is something that I've been working with you guys on, and I've been seeing vast amount of improvement, which is a great thing. I do see that some of you guys are still struggling with it, so I'm going to just go over this one more time, which is trends. It's simply this. Sorry, it's 3 wicks make a trend, but the more the merrier. The more you have, the more wicks you have, the stronger it is. So we want more wicks, okay? So how we find that is we look for our price. Our price is here. We look for the first highest high to see if there's a trend there. So our first highest high is here. Now, I already know that there's no trend here. There's no 3 wicks here, okay? So I'm going to say, well, where's my second highest high? After I moved on to the first, from the first, I go to the second, it's here, okay? So if I were to grab my tool for a trend, I do see there is something, right? Okay, so technically there is 3 there. Is there any more? I moved the wrong thing. And voila, okay. And it's really as simple as that, guys, right? So, what was I just saying? So it's really as simple as that. So go to the next highest high, it's here. Try to see if there's a trend there. There is a trend there, okay? Is there anything more that I can draw? Yes, there is. And look, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and potentially 5 if I want to bring this up just a tad bit. But I don't know, we'll see. It also lines up with what's going on in the RSI, right? Meaning the RSI, we'll see that come down to around the 30 area. 30 area is probably also where this is going to retest this trend, okay? So it's not going to play out right away. Let me just check and see if there's any buys, if there's a buy trend on this, right? And how I do that is go to the lowest low. Now, see, there's a question. Give me 1 second. I want the ones with knowing. Okay, also it's been dropping because it's retested from a break and retest. Yep, so Derek's on it right now. So he's mentioned the break and retest that it's already happened. So there is a trend here. So I go to the lowest low. Lowest low would be here for right now, okay? And then I want to see if there's any second lowest low. The second lowest low is here, okay? We'll see. Let me see. Hold on a second. Because technically, if I do this, there's that. It does work. I don't like that all the way through, but I don't mind this. Okay, Derek, you're saying that there's an upward trend. Okay, I'm looking at your thing, April 25th-ish. No, I do see that. I do see that. I saw that as a major trend. It is pretty far in the past, but it does work as well. Yeah, I saw that, Derek. It's just a matter of trying to see. So for instance, now hold on, guys. So this is just me marking up a chart and creating channels. This isn't anything pertaining to you guys per se. Break and retest, break and retest, break and channel, okay. And then break up. It should respect, oh, okay, I wish it would respect this channel. That'd be a nice little channel. Yeah, so technically it is a break and retest. Derek did, yeah, this is a point to his, this is a break and retest right here. So how you could go to figure out this is when we were doing, hold on 1 second, let me erase some of these lines. Still the same strategy, nothing's changing. This is just me trying to look and see all the different channels that the price is doing. So let me delete this. So basically you just go to price here. Here's the lowest low, right? There's no actual trend. Where's the second lowest low? Will probably be around here, right? So if I go to the second lowest low and see that there is a, see and look to see if there's a trend that goes relative towards price, and there it is. Okay. Alrighty. Hold on. So that is this chart. What would be the next step, Cherry Bell?
The next step would be going to your daily to check your zones.
All right, so came in a little bit broken up, but he said going to the daily and then checking the news. So Chris, what folders do we stay away from for scalping? Because this method is for scalping. So which folders do we stay away from?
Red.
Red, perfect, okay. All right, so obviously, hold on one second, turn that off. Obviously, this has yet to play out really, but everything for the most part is covered. When I say covered, I mean it's because price is here. Obviously, price is here. It decided not to go past this, and it's staying. Everything's staying in the zone that it's supposed to be. It's not going out of it. We don't see any crazy wicks out of it, right? Now with this, when we see what price gets here, we'll see what it wants to do. Let me just make sure I actually covered everything on the 4 hour, and it's because I didn't cover everything. Let me bring this down just a little bit to about here. All right, hold on one second. That's just fine. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit better. And then, yeah, so that looks good on the daily. And then we'll go into the actual 15-minute and start scalping from there. Now, same thing, just remember on the 15-minute, right, that all you need to do is look for your invisible lines, right? So if you see wicks, you know that, what's going on? If you see wicks, you know that you need to have those invisible lines in their place. Hold on one second, my computer is glitching. All right, there it goes. All right, cool. So every time you see a wick, that means just it's a line there that needs to be filled in, right? That belongs there. So wick, wicks. Let's probably bring this down just a little bit, actually. Bring that there. We'll put one here. Okay. There's another wicks right here. Wicks, 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 wicks. Wicks. Okay, cool. So that's this zone. Like if I wanted to just do a quick zone, there's my zone for this orange zone. So if it decides to come back up, come on, everything moved. All right, let me lock that. That's locked, that's locked. So if it decides to come back up and play in this orange zone as a sell break and retest, we'll go ahead and take that down. So let me actually mark that up for you guys real quick. So decides to come and play in this zone. Feel free to look for your retest of trend and start selling it down, okay? Cool. All righty. So that is EU. There's one more chart that I'm going to do for you guys at this time. And that chart is going to be, has everything made sense so far for you, Chris?
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
No worries. No worries. Okay. This is my chart markup for last time we were on CAD-J. So give me 1 second to delete all this stuff. It kind of started playing out just like I predicted. It was either going to go up or go down. It just looks like it went down, retested, and it's going to go back down. Okay, which is cool to see. So it broke, retested. Let me actually do this though. That's better, a little bit better. Trend, cool. Broke, retested, so we'll see it retest up here. Let me go ahead and move this again. So this zone of support is at 30 pips. Let's see. Nope. So where's 30? 30 is around here. Okay. And it's also, which is kind of funny because there's a sell OB right here. Did everybody see that? So that actually works out for our analysis. I'm gonna just move this around for our. Let me do this. So that's a sell. This is a, okay. It's fine if it comes up here on it. All right, so let me just make this yellow just to not confuse anybody when they're trying to draw their charts back. So sell. So I'm not necessarily looking for a buy. I do realize that this is the first buy zone here. So I realize that both of these candles are the first buy zone, right? But I'm skipping over that, right? Because I know that has the potentiality to break through those zones. So I'm looking for a buy zone down here. All right, cool. So that is technically CAD for you guys. All right, so you guys have, what charts did we go over so far? So we've gone over GU. We've gone over EA and what we're expecting for that. We just finished CAD, expecting it to go up. And it might not go up all the way, guys, meaning this is a sell zone right here. This is a sell zone. So it might not go all the way up. Keep that in mind. Come crash down, okay? The other option could be it does go all the way up, hits trend, and then comes crashing down. All right, so that's CAD. And then what else? So we went over EA, CAD. Did we go over, we went over EU? Did we go over EU? Yes, we did, right?
EU, GU, and GJ.
Okay. All right, let me look at GA and let me look at UJ, and then we'll call that. I do have GA on my list. Don't know why. Maybe it was supposed to be something else. Huh. And I would recommend you guys to just take time out. I know it's like, you know, depending on where you are in the world, it's pretty late or really early. But go ahead and chart up. It's a Monday night and the market will be moving because obviously today was a holiday and, you know, US needs to either recover or just make some movements, right? So things will be moving. So I will suggest you guys to go take time, like I will be doing that, and just setting up and marking up my charts, getting ready for what's happening in the market or going to happen in the market. I personally wanted to give you guys like 5 or 6 charts that I personally liked and saw potentiality, but at the same time, there's still many more that you guys can go out and find. So this is me moving a little bit fast. So it's not 100% correct, but I will try to fix it along the way. And I do want to say a congratulations to Derek leading the charge this week, making people money, calling out setups. That was a good job this week, man. He's humble, so he might not say anything. He said, "Oh, thank you, sir. Learned it all from you." Okay, got it. Saw him in the chat. You're welcome, my man. Study hard, and that's the reward. You deserve it. All right. Okay, so this is really up there. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's focus on the below. And then if you guys are getting tired, don't sign off. I do want to give you one more piece of advice, something that I've noticed throughout the week, and I want to make sure that I address it so it can help you guys out as well. So don't sign off before I give out this piece of advice. Well, that's crazy. Okay, so this is, what pair is this? GA. Why did I do this? Okay. All right, so GA is looking cool. So let's find some of these. It's just a lot. All righty. So let's see why it's breaking through there. I missed the line. I mean, yeah, whatever. I'll put it there for right now. Insert. Okay, so this is 2 buy zones. Let's see if I can, or 3 buy zones actually. I don't know why I changed the color. That just confused myself actually. Let's look for some sell zones. Now I do see that there's 2 OBs in 1 sell zone. So I'm actually highlight them both. So here's 1 OB, here's a second OB. I'm gonna highlight them both. Change the color on that bad boy. Look for my next one. I don't mind this one, but I'm not gonna use it for right now. I'm gonna look for something else. Okay, I might have to use it. We'll see. I don't know. I don't like anything else except for this one right here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have 3 buy zones, 2 sell zones. Now we just look at price to see, hey, what's the next highest high? What's the first lowest low, etc. Okay, so first highest high is here. Can't make a trend off of that. Second is here. There are 3 wicks. Let's see if there's anything else that I can go off of. Third is here. It looks like that meets my requirements, right? I'm gonna keep going, cut through this candle, cut through all of these. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do something just to see where the channel's at. This is only for channel purposes, right? So my channel would be here. Make sure. Yeah, that's not even like here. Okay. Okay, so if I want to find a buy trend and just see what's going on there, I look to, this one might not have it. I look towards price. Here's price. I go to see what's the first lowest low. I see that the first lowest low is here. Okay. Right. I just go left to price, look in this zone. This is pretty equal, right? So I go to this zone. I see that there's nothing here. I go to the next zone. Here's the first lowest low. Okay. All right. So I see that there's no real trend from that's according to price, right? As of yet. So I go to the next lowest low. Here's the next lowest low. Okay. I see something here. Okay, here's the third. See something there. See, there's a fourth zone. And I can see I can create a trend off of this, but it's nothing relevant towards price. Nor anything else for that matter. Yeah. As much as I can do for right now is for this. So this has nothing to do with price. So there's just no real trend that has to do with price other than a break and retest that happened a long time ago, right? So what I'm expecting from this is for price to potentially bounce up and break through, retest. So this might take all week to happen. We'll see. You guys still there?
Yep.
Yeah, it just froze for a bit.
Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, that was really weird. Okay, so let's go back. What was the last thing you guys heard me say?
You've been on the whole time, I think. For me, anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, that was weird. All right. Well, long story short, I'm expecting this to bounce up, right? Use this OB, and it's probably going to like freak us out. It's probably going to play with us a little bit.
Just letting you know, I see your face, not the screen. Like not the screen.
So the screen did mess up. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right, can you see screen now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So long story short, I'm expecting this to play with us a little bit. I'm expecting this to bounce up eventually. It might just bounce straight up, right? We'll see it bounce up hopefully soon, or it might play with us, bounce off of this trend, and then go up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you do get in this and it kind of freaks you out, feel free to close, wait till it comes back into this zone, and then just take it up. Okay. But if it starts to respect on the 15-minute, which it looks like it's trying to, it looks like it's trying to come back each time it passes, it comes back. We'll go ahead and take it up. Okay.
Okay.
So each time this comes, wow, look at this. Wow, this must have been news. Crazy. Crazy. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's trying to do a scare factor thing, but yeah, I would go ahead and wait to see what happens if it wants to respect and come back in or not. Okay. And yeah, I think we're going to stop here, guys. So that was GA as the last one.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. So the one thing I want to say for you guys is as we go into the weeks, which I think would be really, really helpful. I think I've had this conversation privately with a few of the members. And I want to say that the group chat is a resource. The group chat is more than just a communication tool for just saying, hey, this is what I'm studying, or hey, hope everyone's week goes well. It's really, when I hop on there in the mornings, I've probably been up for like 45 minutes to an hour going over the market and making sure that the pairs that I call out during the week are going to work out. Like, it's very rarely that the pairs that I call don't play out. And that's because I'm sitting here doing the due diligence, looking at the patterns, et cetera, et cetera. So if you see me in the morning, call out a pair, really, really do your best to chart up that pair. Don't go and say, hey, Mike, I realized you called out 4 to 5 pairs, but look at EA over here, or look at GJ over here. Realistically, I've already charted it, and or I'm either waiting for something specific to happen, or or I just don't like it, what I'm seeing, and it has a potentiality to do something different, et cetera, et cetera. Really just try to focus on the 3 to 4 pairs. And that way your charting will get better and you'll actually make money. Okay, because if I've already charted it and you send me your chart, I can just send you a screenshot, I can send you a screen capture and show you, hey, this is what it should look like, or hey, move this up, move this down, or hey, make sure you look at your first OB zone, et cetera, et cetera. Don't forget that. But if I have to go look at other pairs, it's going to prevent me and make me miss something to help you make money on the other pairs that I called out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Understood.
Okay, I know that was a long-winded answer, but all right. So that's it for tonight, guys. I do recommend go chart, go put these pairs up. I hope you guys got screen grabs and set up your alerts. Okay, once these things come into your zone, you guys should all be calling them out left and right and saying, hey, GJ's here, hey, EA's here, hey, UJ's here, EU's here, et cetera, et cetera. All right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries, guys. You guys have a great one. It's glad to see you guys are all learning and so on.
Awesome. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys tomorrow morning.
See ya.
All right.